What's up, guys? It's VIX Turk, and I'm gonna make a clarification video before I have to go to bed. I got extra work tomorrow, even though I don't really work weekends. Usually, I'm working this weekend to get some overtime and all that stuff, all that good stuff. So I got some. I want to get some overtime, so I'm working a little extra. But before I go to bed, I do need to make some clarifications because apparently people got some misconceptions about me. Now I don't. Now I don't. You look. I don't. What I just said about the whole Tifa thing on the Unreal Engine stuff is that I don't care what Square Enix does because Square Enix has tested a new software they never even used before. Square Enix never used Unreal Engine for Final Fantasy games before. So we don't know how anything's going to turn out. Who knows? They may give Tifa big breasts. And either way, whether they decrease or give Tifa big breasts, and this is a big controversy for the Final Fantasy fan base because everyone's on their own side. The problem I have on YouTube is that you either be on one political side about one thing or the other. You just, God forbid, being neutral is, bad thing, because if you're neutral, then you're worse than either of the two, per people. And I'm just, look, I'm a neutral guy, okay? I'm gonna just say that right there. I keep a neutral viewpoint and standpoint on stuff. What I'm just saying is that whatever happens, I still support the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I still support it because I want to play the game before I say I dislike it. Before I say I dislike the game, I want to play it. I want to actually play it, put it in my hands, and then after I gave it a fair assessment and they take out things, they pull Final Fantasy 15 and take out things, then yes, I'm going to get upset and angry about that. But otherwise, I don't see no point in the upset or anger. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. They may make Tifa's breast way bigger. Either way, my stance about Tifa's boobs being bigger, I really don't care. And I've said it again, I just don't care. I just want to see how this turns out. I want to see how things turn out. Now, preferably, I'd like Tifa to have bigger breasts. Just because I'm a man and, I do need some, material. But otherwise, I don't really care at this point. I don't care about anything at this point. I just want to see how this game turns out. I'm just saying they may remove Tifa's breasts, make it smaller on the fact that they're using technology that makes not only things realistic, but it's like they haven't tested it out. Square Enix never used Unreal Engine for Final Fantasy stuff before. They never did. This is one of their first projects with Unreal Engine. They have not know the whole full developmental softwares that we know. The developmental softwares is a lot different. The point I'm trying to say is it doesn't really matter if you're pro bigger breast Tifa or nay or non bigger breast Tifa. It doesn't really matter at this point. At this point, I just want to see what's going to happen before I get upset, because they may change things for the final game. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 looks nothing like the trailers they showed at E3 2015. If you go back to 2015, watch the Final Fantasy 15 trailers and play Final Fantasy 15, they look nothing alike. Except for the characters, except for the looks of the characters that you see in the game. That's about it, and their attacks. But the trailer showed some different stuff. Like we saw Versteel walking in Alticia with the soldiers. You never saw that in the final game. So we don't know. They may keep Tifa's breasts real big, or they may, shrink them, or they may make them bigger. Who knows? I'm just, the point is, before people put me on a stick and say I'm just as bad as those social justice warriors, I just want to say, my stance on this, I don't care. I just want to see what happens. I want to see what happens at the end. I want to see the final product before I give a poor assessment. Because before I give a poor assessment to everything, I try to be fair. It's just like when I go see movies. Like, I'll be honest, the problem I have with the comic book fan base is that They want to give DC movies a bad rating before actually watching the movie. It's like, that's not a wise idea. You should come not expecting nothing. And that's what I'm going to do with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's why I'm trying to compare it right here. Is because I'm going to do the same thing with the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Or with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm not going to say shit. I'm not going to say if it's bad or good. Or if it's the best thing or if it's the worst thing. Because I'm going to give a fair assessment when the game comes out. That's all I'm saying. That's where my stance is giving fair assessments. Being fair. Because, well, that's the least I could do as a fan. Is be fair with Square Enix when they make Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because, again, I'm going to give it a fair assessment by playing the game. And then if I don't like it, then I can complain. Then I can complain. If there's something wrong with it, then I can complain. But I'm not going to say my complaint. I'm just saying it's more wiser to save your complaints when the things finish. Because they do changes. Again, like I said before already, look at the Final Fantasy 15 E3 trailers of 2015, and then look at the Final Fantasy 15 product that's already out now. You know. But my stance on Tifa's boobs, personally, I would like them a little bit bigger. And that's just me being the guy I am. But if they shrink them, I really don't care. I just don't care at this point. I just don't. I'm here to play the final product before giving a critical analysis, because you can't give something a critical analysis if you not play the full product, because every product turns out to be, for nowadays, ends up being different than what the trailers tease. And the problem I have is that people get mad, and I know this is a controversial topic. I know I should have came here prepared to get squashed on social media, because the Tifa's breast is a very controversial subject within the Final Fantasy fan base. But I'm just saying, let's be fair and give it a chance. Even if they do shrink Tifa's breast size a little bit, I'd give the game a chance still and play through it. And if you don't like it afterwards, alright. I can feel you. I still love Final Fantasy 15, but I gotta be quite honest. Final Fantasy 15 is not a definitive Final Fantasy. On the fact that they chopped up and cut things out of the final game that they should have already had, instead of trying to resell it to people for a price tag. They should have already kept all the stuff that they cut out, and that's it, and make it a full game. But I understand they wanted to increase its life, and that's the whole idea of doing that, is increase the game's life. I understand, that's where Tabata was trying to do, but it's like, to be quite honest, I just don't see any point in doing that. But the point I'm trying to say is, even if I'm pro Tifa's big breasts thing, does it really matter? Does one voice matter? Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 voices matter? Maybe 1,000, maybe 1,000,000. But my voice does not have any weight to what Square Enix wants to do. Because if that was the case, I would ask for just a smaller, shorter Vincent Valentine than that. It wouldn't work because, again, like I said before, Square Enix has the full power to do what they want. But, so, does it really matter? Does this argument really matter? Does it really matter? Is it going to really change the game? I only care about the plot and what's going on. I care that this follows the original Final Fantasy VII while also making new and innovative and story that's going to get me soaked in, that I will never stop playing for hours on end. That's all I really care about. So try to understand when I say, does this really matter? Does it? So may the crystal be with you. I need to go get some sleep. I got some more extra hours and, overtime I'm trying to do to get paid, get this paycheck, to prepare my money. So may the crystal be with you.